Ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you. Welcome back to LoLe, OffRoad and Overland. I just want to introduce you guys Tomasz Lewinsky. This is his best rig. This is what I worked on it, as you guys see, but I'm gonna introduce you guys to him and I'm gonna let him walk you guys through what he done, why and how did he came in position to this beautiful thing. Okay, so let's go.
What's up, guys? My name is Tomasz and this is my rig. It didn't have a name until a few days ago when you guys actually on LoLe's OffRoad named it Big Red. So this is what we're gonna go with. It's a Ford E450 2006. It's a Los Angeles fire department emergency unit. I purchased it about a year and a half ago on an auction in California, pretty close to LA, and it wasn't a expensive purchase. So if you're interested in getting an ambulance, this is probably a way to go. Just look on some auctions and you can probably find a bunch of them over there. I chose this because I used to have a different camper van before. It was a normal cargo van. It was lifted 4x4 Quigley, and I just needed some more room because that camper was kind of tight. So that's why I decided to go with the ambulance. Another reason was those vehicles are built to last. The whole box is aluminum, so you don't have to really worry about rust if you're living in a wet and cold climate. So that was the main reasons why I chose this. This is a 6-liter diesel, about 117,000 miles right now. So not much for a diesel engine, but if you're deciding to go and get one of those, make sure everything's right with it and just take care of it, and it's gonna last you forever pretty much. So this is the camper van. I did a lot of stuff inside and outside, and everything that you're gonna see, it was done by me pretty much with my own hands and just simple tools in front of my apartment in a parking spot. So if you really want to build something like this, you can. There's no excuses. If you don't have a shop, you can still do it with basic tools, basic knowledge. My first camper was kind of challenging, especially the electrical stuff, maybe the heater. Those things were challenging. But when I started building my second camper, I had the knowledge from the first one, so it was way easier. And just to let you know, I'm not a carpenter, I'm not an electrician, I'm not a mechanic. I'm just passionate about it, and I like to create stuff. And if you're interested in the whole build process of this vehicle, I would like to invite you to my channel, which is Wandering Bart. You're gonna find a bunch of content from the build, and if you're watching it from Europe, from Poland, you can also find me as Tomasz Lewinsky. That's my other channel, which is in Polish, and pretty much you can see everything that was done inside. So I guess let's start from the outside of the vehicle.
Yeah, let's do that.
So as you can see on the whole vehicle, you have a roof rack that was made out of aluminum extrusion, and that was my idea. I've seen similar things on different camper vans and I really liked it, but honestly you cannot get a roof rack for an ambulance like this. They just don't make them that big. So I spent some time on finding the right mounts and measured up everything because I really wanted to put my solar panels on the roof rack, not on the roof of the ambulance. Yes, you can step on the roof of the ambulance, but I just didn't want to drill more holes because those holes can start leaking at any time. You never know. And if you have your build done, if you have some wood on the ceiling, you're gonna start getting mold and you have to redo everything. That's why I just decided to build a roof rack. It's a pretty cheap way of getting a roof rack on your ambulance.
Especially if you want to put solar panels and
yes,
lighting and all that kind of...
Yeah, you can also step on it. You can build a deck on this aluminum. It's it's made well, and it's tough and sturdy, and it's gonna hold your weight easily.
And
so
it's priced right.
it's priced
Because
right.
that also plays a big factor in it, you know.
Of course.
Unless you have dispensable money.
Yeah, if you have
unlimited, you know.
unlimited money, then you can go play with whatever you want.
Yeah.
This project definitely is not that type of a project. It's been built for over a year, and right now it's on about 90% of being finished. It still needs a little bit of work, a little bit of personal touch, so it doesn't look like a model home inside. So if you have a limited budget, you can really do it yourself, just with some basic tools, basic skills. As long as you know how to use power tools, you have an open world and you can do whatever you want.
Or that is also, you can just go to YouTube.
YouTube, Facebook groups.
Yeah.
On Facebook groups with ambulances, I found a lot of people that were extremely helpful. I had issues with my backlights after removing the wire harness from the inside, and I just found a person that walked me through pretty much over the phone, a person that I didn't know. So if you need help, you can always find it. You just have to look for it. Reach out, of course. So the roof rack is also done above the driver's cab. I'm gonna have a little cargo box on top of it. That's also the place where I mounted my off-road lighting. This is the same concept, but just smaller. I'm gonna put like a little waterproof case on it, just to store some extra stuff, maybe some tools, maybe some recovery gear. Not sure what's gonna be the purpose, but to be honest, in van life, you cannot have too much storage. That's
never
one of
too much.
Never too much. And when you're building, you always want to use every inch of that space to your advantage, pretty much, just to have as much as you can. But going to the outside, ambulances are known for having a lot of outside storage, and I kept some of those cabinets, but I also removed a whole bunch of them. This cabinet doesn't exist anymore. It's shot for good. It doesn't open. That's where one of my fridges is, inside. This is just a compartment with the starting batteries. This ambulance came with 3 batteries. Recently, I just put it in a DC to DC charger, which is not plugged in yet, but that's where it's gonna live. So this is nothing special over here. But if we're gonna move to the back, this top cabinet, if I remember right, it used to hold an oxygen tank, if I'm correct. And this is my electrical. And like I said, I'm not an electrician, but I feel like I did a pretty good job. I know where every single cable goes. And as you can see, there's also tape on the cables where everything is marked and it says what it's for. And I also created a paper diagram just in case if I lose my memory one day and I don't remember where anything goes.
That's
I can
always a good idea to do that type of records.
Yeah, that's why I just created a paper one
or
for a
if you
reference.
Decided to sell it,
Of course,
people knows what's going on, right?
The way I built this, you'll see it inside in a little bit. I removed all the original wires from the ambulance because I wanted to have everything organized and know where each wire goes. And in my build, none of the wires are under the walls. So at any point, you can just access them easily. They're hidden in the cabinets. They're easily accessible. So you can just go ahead and replace it, add or subtract, whatever you want to do. And if, like you said, if anyone ever becomes an owner of this in the future, they can easily work on it. So this cabinet looks kind of tight, and there's a lot of electrical stuff here. I'm running 2 separate solar charge controllers because I have solar panels in 2 different sizes. One is a 40 amp, and this one also. This one's also a 40 amp, and I have 2 200 watt solar panels and 3 100 watt solar panels, and I'm going to be adding 2 more solar panels to it just to use all of this capabilities of those solar chargers, why not? There's a lot of room on the roof.
Yeah, and you know, it's always nice when you can just get free power, right?
Yes, yes, of course.
Harvest from the sun.
The place that I live in currently in Reno, Nevada, this system charges in about few hours. If you're gonna drain the batteries all the way down by 10:30 a.m., it's already topped off. And right here, there's 400 amp of lithium batteries. I went with this company. To be honest, there's so many brands on the market that it doesn't really matter what you're gonna choose. It's just a game how much you wanna spend. All of those batteries come with different features. Those are self-heated with a really cool system that turns on if the temperature in this cabinet drops to below a certain temperature, and it keeps the batteries warm. So yes, they can drain themselves almost all the way, because then they're gonna just shut down and turn off the whole system. So it's a cool feature, but you have to be aware of it, that you have to keep charging them if you're using them, if you're having them in your rig. The self-heating system doesn't consume that much power. So those batteries, during the winter season last year, they were sitting in this cabinet for 4 months, almost 5 months, and they were not running. Nothing was being charged. And when I finally plugged in my solar panels and the screen and everything, they were still on 48%. So
that's not bad at all.
yeah, so you don't have to worry about it. And they never froze. And believe me, even that Reno's in a Nevada desert, it gets pretty cold, about, I don't know, 9 Fahrenheit, minus 13, 14 Celsius.
Yeah, that's pretty cold.
So they survived it. I'm gonna change this cabinet a little bit, because right now, looking at it, I'm I'm not satisfied with how it looks, and I'm gonna try to add a little bit more power, probably 2 more batteries. Just why not? There's room for it, and the vehicle has the capability to carry all of this. So just use it, you know, and just add a little bit more. So that's my electrical. If you guys have any questions about it, how I did it, and why I chose those brands and not different brands,
they can always hit you up.
Yeah,
too.
you can always hit me up on my Instagram or under any video on my channel, or I'll be probably active here for a while under this video. So you can go ahead and reach out, and I'll answer your questions. Going to the back, I replaced both of those windows. They were normal ambulance windows. I replaced them with the really cheap openable windows, just to have some airflow in the back. I recently added a ladder, because I used to climb on the light and then kind of, you know, using those handles, I was pulling myself. Acrobatics, yes. And believe me, building that roof rack, coming up and down, I think one day I went up 100 times on the roof. Yeah. So I needed a ladder. I decided to, I shouldn't say I decided. I was forced to use a foldable ladder. I'll show you why in a second, because I have some utility drawers under the bed. I had to do it this way because my doors, the back ones, they have to open pretty much all the way. There's a lot of different brands that make, you know, RV, camper ladders, everything like that. And I couldn't use any of them. And I really didn't want to put one on the side, because this vehicle is already wide as it is. It's a little bit over 8 feet. So I think that's enough if you try to fit in like some tight roads somewhere in the forest or in the desert. So, but I had to do a little foldable ladder. Those brackets are from Amazon. They're really sturdy. They can hold up to, I think 300 pounds if you have 4 of them. The ladder is just a bunk bed ladder for kids, rated to 190 pounds, and I'm 185 right now, so it's like borderline. I'm safe, yes. But it works. If I need to get there, clean up the solar panels, it works perfectly fine. I also have some lights on the roof rack here in the back. Those are just backup lights to lit up the campsite or wherever I am and be able to see what's behind me. I also have a backup camera which is mounted right here above the license plate. There's a bunch of brands on the market, and again, like I said, whatever you want to choose, you know, it's your game, whatever you like. I fed the cable under the vehicle, attached it to the frame.
Very smart.
Yeah, so I don't have to worry about it that it's somewhere inside. At any point, I can just replace this camera by just, there's a little plug here behind this metal plate. And if I want to use a different brand, I can just plug it in and attach it here and I'm good. So
that's pretty smart.
When it goes to the back, it's a little bit messy. Like I said, this is still a process in making. It's still being built. So those are my utilities.
You are even carrying a vacuum cleaner.
Yes.
Wow, look at that, right?
The bed is also built on the aluminum extrusion.
Oh, nice.
It's connected with those little connecting brackets, and it's also screwed in together for security, so it doesn't move. And the whole bed platform is also screwed in into the aluminum frame. I decided to go with the aluminum frame because it just doesn't squeak when you're moving around.
I'm telling you, you actually give me a really good idea because mine it's all wood. And I'm not really happy about it.
It's cracking and it's squeaking when you're moving.
Yeah. So this is a smart idea, and it's pretty huge if you look at it.
Yeah,
it's deep.
The drawers are, if I remember right, 100 centimeters, so a little bit above 3 feet, 3.5 feet
And I see
long.
you have a fridge there.
Yes, that's the refrigerator.
And you can just slide it out in the front.
Yes, inside.
Nice.
I'll show you guys that in a second. And those drawers are built on standard, we're a little bit tilted right now. They're built on heavy duty drawer slides from Amazon.
With locks.
With locks. I went with the locks because last time I didn't have locks and it kept sliding out and hitting my back door when I was accelerating, and it kept freaking me out because I didn't know what that noise was for the first few 100 kilometers. I was like, oh my God. So yeah, it's just drawers, nothing special about it. Everything, all the woodwork you see, I did pretty much with these tools. I only bought this saw to cut out the original floor from the ambulance because it was a wooden floor and it was glued with epoxy, and believe me, they used all epoxy from the world they had under that floor. The whole floor was literally covered with epoxy glue, and it was glued to the aluminum floor that is originally in the ambulance box.
God.
I was trying to lift it, it was impossible. I had to cut it in little square pieces about 5 on 5 inches and chisel it out. It took me pretty much a whole day to just get rid of the floor. So if you're buying an ambulance, and just expect the unexpected. There's things you're gonna find that might gross you out, and there's things that they're gonna make you want to give up and just push it down the hill. So, but yeah, all the tools I used, just a jigsaw, a power drill, a sander just to fix my imperfections on the woodwork, an angle grinder because, like I said, I cut out a bunch of cabinets, and those were also not easy because the cabinets were made out of 1/4 inch aluminum. So it takes time to cut them out. So that's it. That's the whole back over here. I'll show you a little bit more on the other side where my diesel heater sits. This cabinet is one of those that I cut out partially because it's under the bed. This is right under my bed. That's how high it sits. This is a really, this used to be a really big cabinet, and I decided I don't need that much room. That's where I'm gonna have my propane tank and water heater. There's going to be ventilation in this cabinet, obviously. And this is just a portion of the cables that I took out from the ambulance. I honestly recommend you go visit my channel, Wandering Bart. You'll see the fight with this, because at the beginning I was trying to keep some of the features that the ambulance had, like automated locks in those cabinets, lighting in the cabinets. And I slowly started realizing that that's not the best idea. First, I got rid of the lights, and then I realized that I'm not going to also have automated locks, because tracing those wires, even that they're all marked, every wire says where it goes, I just didn't want to deal with it, because I wanted to take out the whole electrical cabinet from the ambulance. Didn't want to have anything related to that. I wanted to build it from scratch, build it my way, and just put everything that I needed personally and not carry a bunch of useless stuff. So that's what it is. And I think this had a fire extinguishers and like a big oxygen tank too on this side, if I remember it right, based on the brackets that were left inside. Because this ambulance came stripped of the side lights, which I covered with some plexi for now, because I don't know, just didn't have an idea what to do with it. Didn't want to have those lights that were useless, because I got rid of them. So I just did that, and for now it's good, it works. Maybe in the future I'm gonna have a different idea and I'll change it, but that's what it is.
It looks good anyway.
I also cut out 2 windows on the sides, one on each side. Those are also just openable windows. The other one is pretty much at the same distance from the door. You probably saw it behind me in the beginning shots. And this cabinet is gonna hold my water tank, which is not plugged in yet. I didn't really start building the water system. I just got the tank that fits here. That's where I'm going to have the water pump, and I wanted to do it this way because that's where I have my diesel heater. And if you're familiar with these, this is just a cheap Chinese knockoff of a Webasto. If you're familiar with these, they by themselves generate a lot of heat and give out that heat. So might as well put a water tank in the same cabinet, because it's going to just keep the water slightly warmer and the cabinet slightly warmer. So hopefully in a really cold place, it's not gonna freeze. I'm not worried about the tank. I'm more worried about the pump. So that's why I decided to do it like that.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, and this is my exhaust for the diesel heater, and the air intake is deep under the vehicle, so they're not close to each other. Yeah, that's what you have to watch out for. Don't put them next to each other. It's not a good thing. You don't want to breathe in the fumes from the diesel heater. Yeah. And this cabinet is also fully deleted, because that's where my shower is. As you're gonna see inside, those cabinets, they sit flushed with the bottom of the vehicle, but the floor is about this much higher. And this is a box that I'm not able to stand fully, because I'm 6 feet tall. So I kind of have to stand like this inside. And this is the only spot where I can stand up straight. So that's why it was a decision to build the shower over there. And that's where all the electrical was. It was inside of this cabinet, and also inside of the vehicle on the back part.
I imagine you have some videos, clips, how all that was looking, because I think that was, when you look at it, it's very intimidating when you see all those wires and all the gadgets in there.
Yes, it is intimidating, and what I can recommend you is don't touch it at all, or just rip it out. Those are the 2 only ways. If you're gonna start playing around trying to save something, unless you're an electrician and you're knowledgeable about those vehicles, then yes, play around. But if you're someone like me, that it's not an electrician, doesn't really know how to do those things, rip it out or don't touch it. But this vehicle came also with a schematic of the electrical system, so if you know how to do it, go ahead, you know. I don't recommend it, but
Yeah.
just rip it out. Yeah. And if we move into the driver's cab, it's nothing special. It's just a 450, like a Econoline series. Nothing special about it. I only removed the central console from it where I had all the buttons for the lights, the signals and everything. So, and I replaced it with a standard pretty much compartment. It used to be extremely dirty. The people that were driving it as it was in the service didn't take care of it. I found really nasty things inside, so be ready for that. It depends who's driving it. I've seen some units straight out of a fire department or a medical system, and they were clean, well maintained. It's just the people that work in it, pretty much. So
Yeah.
I was unlucky to have someone that didn't really care. One more thing that I deleted from the ambulance is those plugs here. That was the shore power, just outlets to charge it. I covered it with a piece of aluminum that I cut out from the window. That's where it would show you the charge on the batteries. And this was the signal, like little light that would show you that it's charging. So moving to the front, like I said, I was doing everything in front of my apartment on a parking spot. So I was painting my hood inside of my apartment in my spare bedroom, and over there it looked pretty good. And as soon as I took it outside, I didn't like it, so I sent it back and I got it ready to be painted. I don't know, I might do it black, maybe, we'll see. Don't have an idea. But this Econoline came with like a firefighting grill, which was extremely ugly. I really didn't like it, so I just grabbed one from Pick and Pull, painted it black. It used to have a chrome bumper, and then I bought a rusty one, cleaned it up, painted it outside in front of the camper van, did some cutouts for some amber lights on the bottom, and also mounted another light bar right here, just for extra lights, you know. To be honest, if you're deep in the forest at night and you're looking for a campsite, it's good to have some extra lights to lit up the space.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I guess let's move to the inside. I'll show you what I did.
Sounds amazing. Let's see.
Yeah. I'm not able to fully stand up here.
But
This
maybe
is-
you can just have a seat and
Yeah, you can. To be honest, I'm not a person that sits indoors. This is pretty much just a hotel that you sleep in. And everything that I build is built for my needs. And you know, I like to hike, I like to kayak, I like to fish, I like to do some rock climbing. So I spend a lot of time outdoors, and this is just a place where I can come in, clean up, and get a good night rest. So it's not like I'm gonna be standing here and having cocktail parties with friends, you know.
Right.
Few things I did, and this is also an ongoing project. I started replacing the ugly aluminum that was on the doors. It wasn't something like this. It was just very ugly. So I got rid of it, and I'm also gonna get rid of this. Put some little material pouches here for the necessary things that you would like to grab when you're getting out. So I don't know, gloves, a hat.
Yeah.
Bear spray, a knife, you know,
Yeah.
some bungee cords, stuff like that. So that's what I did here. The floor is not done yet. I barely cleaned it up after the whole build process. So as you can see, there's a lot of storage. This is my kitchen area. There's a big sink. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to open it right now because it's covered, and I don't have a little pull tab to open it. But There's a nice sink in it. This is a propane cooktop. It's already hooked up to the electrical, it just doesn't have propane at the moment. I also put it in some extra power outlets here. There's 4 outlets, 2 on each side, and 2 USBs and 2 USB-Cs, and it's like a little pushable, poppable outlet. Pretty cool Amazon find. You know, there's a lot of them, different sizes. I like that one because it's pretty compact. And I don't really have any good locks in the cabinets, but I got some good door hinges which pretty much pull those doors, and I used only like cheap $1 Home Depot locks on the bottom. I don't think it's gonna open. Last time in my previous camper van, I only had those locks and really cheap door mounts, and it was fine. I try to use the space as best as I could. As you can see, there's a bunch of tools here still, and weird cables, because this whole trip was done a little bit in a rush, but I got everything with me that I need. This is a pretty big drawer. That's probably when I'm gonna keep my I don't know, pots, pans, plates, stuff like that. This was a very awkward space because it's like a really narrow, like shallow cabinet, but you can always put something in it, cleaning supplies, some canned goods, whatever you're gonna think. So there's a space here, you know, so I figured I'll use it. Why not? That's the diesel heater. It comes out right here, right next to the bed. On both sides you have those seats that also have storage underneath. This is full of dirty laundry at the moment.
Nice.
And this is pretty much empty. There's just some underwear and socks. Plain cushions from Amazon, really cheap ones. Like I said, this was built over a long period of time.
Can I butt in here for a second? So just for all the viewers here, you don't need to spend lots of money, you know, to build something. So even something cheap like that from Amazon, it's convenient and it's usable. And you know, sometimes we tend to change things out. So you don't mind if you throw that one out and get another one because you didn't pay a fortune for it.
No. And just to let you guys know, this whole project, it wasn't pre-planned on a piece of paper or on a computer in AutoCAD. I ripped out everything to the bare metal. We got a guest.
Yeah.
Get out.
We have a visitor.
We're good. Like, this whole project wasn't done on a piece of paper or in AutoCAD. I just ripped out everything to bare metal. I've put the pink styrofoam and 1/4 inch normal styrofoam on top of it. I put a little bit of wood framing, so you have this much of insulation. This is, I don't know,
probably about 3 inches.
No,
maybe even more.
This is like 8. No, just kidding.
Okay.
Yeah, probably a little bit over 8 inches of insulation. I've built this camper to be able to sleep in really cold places, and I wanted to feel comfortable with just having a simple diesel heater. The walls are done from a really thin plywood. A lot of people are asking me, what did I use? Why does it look so smooth? It looks so smooth because I put a lot of hours sanding it by hand, because that was before I got the electrical sander. And I put few coats of primer and paint.
So not only that you got a nice smooth finish, you also got the workout in the same time.
Same time, yes. The best one I can recommend you is sanding a ceiling that is not tall enough for you, because then you get to work your abs and your back. So
there you go.
This is really fun. That's where I have my screen for my batteries. This car was indoors for a while now, so Right now we're on 52%. Probably in about 2 hours it's gonna be full.
Yeah.
As soon as the sun fully hits this side
Yeah,
of.
because we are still in the shade here.
Yeah, yeah. Another thing that I wanted to show you is this little folded up table, which is going to be my work desk. And one thing that I would like to point out, all the stain and woodwork you see, I also did it at home. Those countertops, that everything was, you know, polished by me. 2 coats of a stain and then 4 coats of clear coat on it to get that glass finish, to make it look really nice. And those brackets also a purchase from Amazon. I was trying to rig it myself, and then I figured out, why not, let's go to Amazon and see if someone already built something like that. And that's how I found those. They were also cheap. They were like couple bucks. They have little locking mechanisms under, and I'm still missing a pin to put it in the hinge right here. So when I'm braking, it's not like it's gonna go anywhere, but
Yeah.
it might make some noise. This is my kind of entry drawer, and as you can see, it kind of opens difficultly because I reused the drawer slides from the ambulance. I tried to reuse as much as stuff as I was able, and one of them is just kind of seized. So
Yeah, so not only that, it's not easy when you do a parallel slides,
yeah,
top and bottom. That's even more critical because they need to be
lined up perfectly.
right on, because
Yeah.
otherwise,
Yeah, it's just this drawer slide on this side is gunked up. It's missing the bearings, and I gotta replace it. But
It's
I can
okay.
pull this out at any time. There's gonna be probably a shelf inside as soon as I'm gonna move in. But I just don't want to put it right now because I want to see how tall is the air fryer, like my appliances and other stuff that I'm gonna keep inside here. And whenever I want to use it, I'm just gonna put it on
there
the
you go. So
countertop.
it's, yeah, so it always has a nice clean look on the inside. Is not
Yeah,
clogged
yeah,
up.
and especially when you know, it's a home on wheels, so when you're driving, you don't
Yeah.
want stuff flying around.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this cabinet also has a little lock on the side.
Safety.
Nothing.
Yeah, just
Nothing special, just a little lock on the side. There's a pretty big cabinet over there. It's just storage for useless stuff at the moment. Just things that I don't need, maybe like an extra sleeping bag and maybe some backpacks. Those cabinets probably are going to be full of clothes,
soon.
as you can see right now. And it's also just simple $1 locks.
And
it works.
you telling me that you build all this by hand on hand tools?
Yeah, with a jigsaw.
Wow.
All of those doors, everything here was done with a jigsaw. Countertops.
I say that's pretty amazing, man.
The video doesn't give it justice, I learned, because I also record on YouTube. So I know anytime I'm trying to show how this interior looks, it's hard. It's hard. It never looks how it looks in real life.
Right.
But yeah, over here, this is kind of like a, I don't know, storage for probably more clothes. There's going to be
Yeah, and there is the wire.
a lot of room. Yes, those are the lights that I recently add. So as you can see, I can add wires at any time and remove them also at any time. And I try to use the whole space as much as I could. This is my sleeping bag, extra blankets right here. I didn't know what to expect when I'm going to come to Vancouver Island.
Well,
yesterday they were useful.
it was pretty cool.
Yes. This is the back of my electrical cabinet that you guys could see from the outside, and this is a cabinet with a little bit more electrical stuff, and I also have a terminal switch here inside. If there's anything wrong with any kind of device that I mounted, I can turn this and everything's just disconnected in a second. I also mounted here a fan that pulls out the hot air from the electrical cabinet and pulls in the cold one from under the bed, so it's just well ventilated.
Yeah, that's good to have a circulation, air circulation, absolutely.
Of course.
Yeah.
2 outlets on each side, because there's going to be also a pull-out table. Those outlets have 2 USBs and 2 normal outlets, and there's going to be 2 separate pull-out tables right above the fridge door under the bed, because this is only a 6-inch mattress. Yeah, I think it was a 6 or 5. I don't remember at the moment, but I didn't get to those tables yet. And this is my freezer at the moment, working as a fridge, because I'm not running my second fridge because I don't need it, and I don't need a freezer.
Oh yeah.
But this is also just
It's
Amazon.
pretty cold. I can feel it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's also an Amazon purchase, and it's just one of those brands that showed up recently on the market. This fridge was, I think, less than $300.
That's not bad.
It works extremely quiet, doesn't heat up, and it holds the temperature inside. It's made out of aluminum on the outside, so
That's pretty neat.
yeah, it has those really beefy handles that are on springs.
Yeah.
If you're interested, I'll have all the links for everything that you see in this build under the finish video. When I'm
Yeah.
going to finish this camper, I'll post a video where I'm going to pretty much, talk about cost and everything, and post the links for the products. But one important thing: don't build your fridge cabinet before you get the fridge, because I went with the dimensions that they post on their website, and I've built the cabinet, and when I got the fridge was not fitting in my cabinet, and I had to remove the legs from it, and then it was still kind of touching over here. There's still one spot where it's kind of rubbing, but it's good. It's all good, This space, another just storage cabinet, which is holding my fan and a cooktop and other stuff like that. Just a little bit more storage. All of those cabinets, they're pretty much the same, They're just holding different stuff. This is going to be cooking related probably, and this is going to be clothes. And I'm going to have a projector here. Not sure where it's going to be mounted yet, but that's the idea for it. And I don't know. I don't really watch much TV shows or anything like that, but it's good to have it.
You have a busy life, so you don't have much time
Yes,
for that.
if you create on YouTube, you really don't have time for anything else. When it goes for lighting, I did 2 different installations for my LEDs. There's one sensor right here that turns on the LED lights, which are going to be barely visible right now because it's really bright.
We can see it very good.
Yeah, and there's one more strip over there behind you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And another sensor is right here next to the seat, which also has lights, right? And everything here is lit up, including the other fridge that I'll show you guys in a second.
Nice.
And if I play it well, I can control both of them at the same time with one remote, so I can also turn both of them at the same time. That was the idea behind it. And I also have just manual switches, just in case if the remote gets lost or gets wet or something else happens to it, I can just turn it off with these. And
it's pretty neat.
Yeah, safe part. Simple ideas. Those are not my only lights. As you can see right here, there's 3 dimmers, And again, this is just a cheap dimmer,
Oh,
nothing
yes,
fancy. I had an issue to buy one device with 3 separate dimmers. Every single one is Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, stuff like. I don't need that. I don't want that in my camper van. I want manual switches, simple,
Yeah.
that I can dim at any time, and I can, if I'm gonna be working at the table by the door and I don't want to lit up the bed, I can just turn myself on the lights above the table. So
Yeah, that's pretty good.
so
Pretty
that was
smart.
the idea behind it. There's gonna be the shower, like I told you, but this is my storage unit for the moment because there's scrap wood, some more tools, and stuff like that inside.
We get the picture.
Yeah.
It's a decent size shower that you can fit in there, and
Yes. Yes,
get clean.
easily. I measured it inside, as you can see. Like I can stand like this, and easily inside just turn around however I want.
Yeah, yeah, nice.
It's not like I'm gonna be in that shower for
Nice.
2 hours bathing. I'm gonna go get washed and get out. This spot on the other side, this is on the passenger side of the vehicle. This is gonna be a place where a little wood stove is gonna be sitting.
Oh,
Yeah, that's why.
That's why.
That's why on the top I moved my solar panels to this side and left this spot just to be able to put out the chimney. It's still a project in work. I need some like heat shield here on the cabinet so it doesn't heat up the fridge, which is, oh, it's locked. And again, cheap truckers fridge,
But that's pretty neat. Man.
Yeah, this is just a 12 volt.
It's good enough because you have 2 of them.
Yeah, this is just for like daily stuff, and that one's, just to freeze whatever we want to transport for a longer time. And I went with this kind of fake copper finish because, I don't know, I liked how, like the old saloons back in the days in the gold rush, that's what they used to have on the ceilings, or on the walls. And I really like that finish, and that's why I went with that. The ceiling is not finished yet. It's gonna have those thin wooden planks spaced out between each other so you can see the dark ceiling, and wood that is gonna be in the same color as the countertops. And obviously a cover for the fan. It's just the fan that I guess everyone in van life has.
You must have.
Yeah, you must have. And I've built it here because in my previous camper, it used to be above my bed, and it wasn't the best spot. I didn't choose it. It used to be a border patrol car. So it used to be a driving prison. That's what it was, pretty much. It used to have metal benches, cages inside. So that was also fun to build. But it had the fan above the bed. So I decided to put it here because that's where I have my cooktop. That's pretty close to the shower and pretty close to the wood stove. So anytime anything goes wrong, just turn this on and you're good to go. And I think that's everything that has been done here inside of this camper. It's been a lot of work, and it might have been less work, but I have really high attention to detail, and sometimes I'm going to redo some stuff a few times because I personally just don't like it. If it doesn't satisfy me, I'm going to keep doing it until I do it the right way. Like I said, I'm not a carpenter, so I've been learning as I was building this, and I feel like it worked out pretty well. I don't know if you noticed, but you can't see any screws here.
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah.
There's no screws visible in this camper.
Yeah.
I spent some time to hide them pretty well.
No, you did an awesome job. Like I seen other builds, and I seen people like with more sophisticated tools. But overall, when I look at this, I mean, to me it's perfect. This is your baby,
Yeah.
your home on wheels, and you made this to enjoy, and it
And I
looks
build
amazing.
it, and I build it for my needs, and that's what I always.
And it's pretty rugged too.
Yeah, and I always recommend everyone getting into van life. Get your vehicle first. Go out. Just throw a blow up mattress, whatever, inside. Go out, spend a few nights in it. Get the simplest things like a propane stove, whatever. Spend some time outside in it and see where would you like to have something. Get in, get out from this vehicle. Pre-plan it like that, you know. Don't go for a build. Don't try to build the most complicated.
Are you pointing fingers now? Because that's what I did.
That's what you did. Yeah.
That's why I redone it 3 times,
Yeah.
because I wasn't happy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good advice. You
Yeah.
know?
Just don't go for the most expensive build. You know, people buy those $200,000 Sprinter vans that are narrow like a sewage canal. Not just a Sprinter joke, but.
Yeah.
People buy those camper vans for $200,000 that are pre-built. They go out and they end up with not a functional camper, not a functional for them, you know, because they need something else. They don't like something. And I talk to people on different campgrounds, and a lot of people that purchased those, they tend to complain about it, you know. They tend to add a lot of stuff and also remove.
I would complain too, because if I would spend $200,000 on a camper van, boy, that should be like, you know, make sure that's perfect. Everything, every detail, every whatever you need, you know.
Yeah.
Because if something is off, then I say, wow,
Yeah.
that is my 200,000 pain in my rear butt, because
Yeah. Yeah.
you know.
I don't know if you even heard it, but the fridge kicked in.
No, I didn't hear
And
it.
it's running right now.
It's pretty quiet. So
Yeah.
for a cheap fridge,
Yeah. This one doesn't make any noise.
wow,
When it runs, makes zero noise.
wow.
But it produces a lot of heat, and it's in a tight cabinet. That's why I also installed a little
Oh,
fan,
I see. Yeah. Yeah.
which pulls out
I see the.
on the other side of the.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's just a computer fan, and I got to replace it, but because I was working still on this cabinet, and it got gunked up with some wood shreds, and it's kind of grinding right now. But like I said, I ripped out everything, including the separating wall, because before in this ambulance there was a way narrower door. It was like this wide, and it was like super low, and I wanted a pretty big open space, you know, be able to see from the driver's seat if I hear some noise, to see what's happening inside, and the other way be able to see my cab. There's gonna be a curtain here just to keep the heat inside.
Like a privacy curtain.
Yeah, a privacy curtain, nothing special, nothing fancy. Something I tried with my previous camper, and it worked perfectly. Okay guys, so I guess that's it for today. Thank you for joining us on this van tour, and I'll see you guys outside.
Peace out.
Peace
You guys
out.
be safe.
It's done. Exactly.
Perfect. So there you guys go. Tomasz Luiski, and also Wandering Bart. You guys go check it out. It's a very interesting guy. It's a cool dude. Awesome. Some nice travels too, and I like that. And hopefully we can see in the future some even more dedicated and more upbeat, content.
Yes.
But Thomas came to visit me just to do a little bit of servicing on his Ambo, and I really appreciate that. I can't say any more thank you. And hopefully I can come and visit him down in Nevada, because man, that's a cool spot. That's it, my friends. Thanks for joining us. Like I said, check the links, check him out. Peace out. In the next one.